Hi, I'm Ryan Sheldrake from Chainguard. I'd like to speak to you about secure and easy by default in the context of DevSecOps. So let's jump into it. We've only got 15 minutes. So who am I? Again, Ryan Sheldrake. I'm a DevSecOps person. I've been in the industry about 25 years. First presented and bought pizzas, in fact, for the DevSecOps London meetup in about 2015, so about a decade ago, and evolved with that meetup and all of the people that went along with that. Fantastic organization to get involved with, still going. Um, and I mentor quite a few people, from people at CTO level down to people new into the industry, and try and kind of coach about beyond tools. For me, the tools are the easy part, but culture, team interactions, etc., are really, really interesting and important to get right for a successful organization. Bit of background: used to work at a bank for a very long time, and then moved a lot of money around in the payments industry. Outside of work, I like to walk up big hills, and I attempt, badly, maybe, to play several instruments, including the guitar and drums. That's enough about me. Let's dive into DevSecOps with Chainguard. So, we've all heard the shift left, shift right, etc. But it boils down to the fact that we want to be lean and deliver just in time with minimal waste, maximum automation with quality built in. Iterate. It all goes back to Deming and the Toyota factory way, way back in the day. So high efficiency, being able to iterate, pivot to where we need to be, to ensure that we're delivering software successfully at the rate that is demanded um, by our customers and prospects. One thing that's missing on here for me, of course, is security. It's part of quality for me anyway. Building it into that constant kind of infinity loop of DevOps. Security should be throughout that life cycle. Do it as early as you can, but also do it in runtime as far right as you can in real time too. Open source, amazing. Yeah, it's the foundation for almost every bit of software that's out there, but it's not without its problems. The Chainguard CEO says it's like a puppy. It's really good, but it does have problems. You got to feed it, you got to clear up after it, etc. Some amazing projects out there. I'm not kicking any of these projects down towards the bottom right. I'm a Python person, bit of Go as well, but there are thousands and thousands of projects out there that are not necessarily hyper focused on remediating vulnerabilities as they accrue. Like science in entropy, things degrade over time, and that presents an attack surface, especially in older versions, if the patches are not backported. What does it mean to business? It means that being compliant is really hard, and I mean, what do I mean by difficult? I mean that it can take a long time. It can take a lot of people. It can take several iterations to get the evidence that are required to get PCI DSS, and adhere to DORA. If you're over in the USA, it might be FedRAMP. That's even more difficult to achieve. What does a breach cost? Very at the moment, the retail industry really, unfortunately, has been targeted. I think this figure's low, personally, but that's what we've got to work with. But let's bring it down to the engineering level. I'm an engineer at heart. Do I want to spend 4 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours fixing, patching vulnerabilities? No, that's technical debt that's accrued over time if you're not upgrading to latest, updating to latest, etc. No developer has ever skipped hot, run, or whatever into work thinking, yay, it's the day that I do technical debt payoff. That's not how we work. We want to do the cool stuff. We want to be innovating. We want to be driving revenue into the business. Why Chainguard? I know that this is remote, but in a in-person event, I'd be asking, who's heard of Chainguard, and asking for a show of hands. Please raise your hand. Nobody can see you. It's remote. It's not this Chainguard. We're not protecting chains on bicycles. Chainguard is about protecting end-to-end the software supply chain. And what does that mean? It means that Chainguard take the source code for open source projects and build it at least every day across thousands of repositories to create minimum hardened immutable containers that are attested and built on a Salsa level 2 build system. That means thousands of packages, and we're just about to cross over into 1,400 plus secure minimalized image that can be pulled from Chainguard that are secure at the point that you pull them as an engineer. You don't need to start by a pull and then fix a load of debt that's accrued in that image, which you may do from other sources out on the internet. The catalog is ever expanding. So we support all maintained versions, and everything comes with software bill of materials, SBOM. If you need FIPS, which is Federal Information Processing Standard stuff, down to the cryptography hardened level, we can provide those. And as I say, everything's put through what we call internally the factory, which is a Salsa level 2 certified build system. On the right, you can see things moving around. These are examples of base images and applications. An application could be an open source project, things like Redis for caching, Prometheus, things like that. And also we have AI images that, again, are minimized and secure by default. They're always up to date, built on top of our own Wolfie or Chainguard OS, which is a rolling distro. We don't wait for long-term supported version of backport fixes. We build everything every day. We can move very, very fast indeed, often faster than the upstream OSS project. This is all about what do I gain. So put your developer hat on, engineer hat on, platform engineer hat on, DevSecOps person hat on. So what do you get? Before and after. So a graph is useful to demonstrate this. On the right-hand side of this, we have a open source version of Python, Python latest, and it's accrued and it changes over time. Don't get me wrong. The Python project does fix things, but then things enter the environment just through natural entropy, as I mentioned. So about 200 critical high, medium, low, and unknown severity vulnerabilities in the upstream open source Python image. On the left, the graph isn't broken. I get asked quite a lot whether the graph is broken. It isn't. And we can see that we're averaging less than one. We're actually carrying a couple of mediums right now to prove that this is completely transparent and open. And you can see when we accrue a CVE, Chainguard is not immune from CVEs. Chainguard is not special in any way from that perspective. Is that we have to go patch, upgrade, fix, bump the versions, untangle the dependency tree like everybody else. We just have a huge amount of automation. That's called the factory again. And when the factory can't do this, because automation cannot deal with every edge case, we have the biggest team in the world currently looking at this specific problem to keep Chainguard images as small as possible. I'll expand upon that in a moment, but CVE vulnerability free. You'll also see in here that the size comparison is very different. So it's 360 meg compared to 22 meg, which doesn't sound a massive difference. But if you're pulling this hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of time, or you're moving things around, that size difference can be performance. It can be waiting for engineers times X number of teams across X number of pipelines. It can even be egress costs from your cloud service provider. So let's keep things minimal. Minimal also means that our images at Chainguard only include the required packages to be functional. Are you like, hey Ryan, what does this mean? What it means is that because we've only got a low number of packages compared to the open source version, we accrue vulnerabilities less quickly. Less things to go bad. Think of it in those terms. And again, we're continuously building. So should there be a new vulnerability come out, we don't just build to major, minor, sub-release. We actually can build R001, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. intraday as that day zero evolves. There's a blog out there from Dan Lawrence, our CEO, where we had to rebuild over 700 images and packages when a vulnerability arrived. 700 fixes all going through in the same day to fix the packages that go into the images, so our customers don't have to spend time remediating vulnerabilities. They can pull from the safe foundation of Chainguard. So in summary, better DevX. As I say, we're engineers. We want a better experience. We want to get going faster. Pull an image that you know is good, is trusted, is attested. You can look at the software bill of materials. You can look at the cryptographically signed attestation of the image. You can look at the transparent audit log of that over in Recore. Every image from Chainguard is fully signed and attested. Want to get going quickly. Pull the thing that you want, knowing it's good. Apply the same config or drop your app on top of it as you would with the open source, and just drop that CVE number through the floor, averaging literally less than 1 as we carry throughout the life cycle of that project. Less risk. I've said it in many ways. Reduce highs, mediums, lows by default. Pull from Chainguard. Don't go to any other source that may not be as diligent from the internet. Lower the overhead of audit. Again, as a developer, you don't really want the overhead of having to gather the information that the auditor's requesting again and again and again. Just give them the attestation, give them the vulnerability reports, show that you're pulling from the safe source for open source, Chainguard, and pass that audit with reduced minimal friction. Go faster. Everybody wants to go faster in the DevOps movement. DevSecOps movement should be the same. We want to increase revenue for our businesses. If we just pull in secure by default, we don't have to spend a lot of time fixing things. We can go fast. I had to include AI-generated image in this talk. My prompt was create image, happy, secure developers. These are my happy, secure developers down at the bottom. Apologies, it's 2025 and no talk is complete, it would seem, without an AI-generated image. Wrapping up, Chainguard is the safe source for open source. And if you'd like to get started for free, I had the images catalog in a couple of the slides, but down at the bottom, you'll see there, free starter images at images.chainguard.dev. Click on starter within there. We give back around 40 starter images, completely free, no telemetry, etc. You can also look at those comparisons before and after if you want to go beyond the starter images. Thank you so much for listening. Ryan Sheldrake signing off. Thanks. Bye.